Hi, BiFFs.
Hey, Beth.
Dear Abby.
Dear Kiki.
Dear Captain.
Red flag.
Cheers to you.
Desperate housewife.
Pinot Grigio.
Doesn't want to marry
Loser
you.
power.
Love you like I
Pour
love
more
you.
wine.
She's gonna say that.
Don't drinking.
Don't talk to yourself.
Cheers, Biff.
Cheers.
Ill-advised.
Ill-advised.
This is ill-advised. Hi, BiFFs.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome to Ill-advised.
The podcast where two best friends tell you what to do when someone else already has.
While we don't know what we're doing ourselves.
And it took us 2 hours to set up our podcast setup.
Because it's our first time.
Seriously, I think we need to take a picture of our setup and then try to just replicate it every time. But we just keep changing it up.
Great idea, because we're doing videos.
We're doing videos. Yes. Oh, guys, we're doing videos.
So you can see us live.
Stephanie just told you, aren't you listening?
Yeah, Biff, aren't you?
Yes.
Such a guy.
I'm such a guy. I thought you were going to call me I really
don't
thought
use that
I was
word.
really going to laugh so hard. I know you don't. And I just used it on the air. I'm going to it out. You just used it. I'm going to bleep that out too.
I was trying to do the
And
Like
then
the-
the hard
yeah,
C and the T.
like a K and a T.
CK unt.
No, just K. U-N-T.
Q-U-N-T.
Quant.
Oh,
Quant.
Oh,
That's a new one.
that's a good one.
Quant.
I can't. Wow.
How you doing?
Yeah, apparently I'm fine.
Much better.
No, I'm good. I'm journaling again. I stopped
good.
on the way home and picked up a journal for myself to write my daily thoughts in. So I've been doing that in the morning,
Perfect.
which I've been looking forward to because I haven't done it in a while.
Every therapist I've ever heard of says to journal.
Yeah, it's interesting because before either of us was in therapy, you'd recommended that to me, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, and I did. I took it.
Yeah.
And so I was writing regularly, and then it turned into situationally after I sold the house. I wasn't so regular anymore.
Oh, you weren't so regular.
No.
You're irregular.
That's right. IBS City, baby. That's no lie. And I think it's part of me getting back into a routine. So I've been doing it before work and before I came here. Just anything that's on my mind, just put it out on paper. And,
That's awesome.
instead of having an agenda, what do I want to talk about today? Much like I want my therapy to go.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's kind of important. It's important to stay in the stay in the awareness, I guess, of your feelings and yourself and
you
where
got that
you're
on
at.
camera.
I do. This one.
Oh, we don't know if we're going to post these entire videos, especially
not.
because at least 15 minutes of it is failed attempt at
18
podcasting. Great. How are you, Biff?
I think I'm okay. I've been a bit up and down with my moods and my emotions, I guess, but I feel like I'm back. I'm the little train that can.
The little engine that could?
Yep. Thank you.
Those are synonymous.
Yes, the little engine that could.
The little train that
I'm
can.
on-
That's the best. Tell me more, Thomas.
I am on my way back to being in a clearer state, my feelings, and just being less irritable, or just kind of feeling like I'm in a hole, I guess.
Yes.
Not really a hole, because it's not a depression thing, but it's just a Groundhog's Day.
Oh,
Groundhog's
just
Day.
a repeat bullshit
just
of a life.
Can we fucking be rich and famous somewhere in a beach
Sure.
instead of gray Massachusetts?
I know.
In,
It's also kind of hard to be somewhere else too, mentally, you know what I mean? With what's going on in the atmosphere and the ambiance, outside.
Yeah, for sure.
And then having that,
definitely affects you.
that mindset.
Yeah.
I think makes sense that you would want something a little bit more warm and inviting.
Yeah, it
I didn't mean to
changes.
go off on a tangent on that one,
No,
but
I mean, you didn't. It makes total sense, and it really does make a huge difference.
Yeah.
You don't see depressed people in Florida.
I don't know if that's, well.
Just meth heads.
You
can't be depressed if you're on meth.
Can you? Aren't you depressed because you're on, or aren't you on meth because you're depressed? Isn't that how
I think running from your
works?
feelings isn't necessarily depression.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, because you're not really facing them.
Yeah.
Ah,
I think when you start facing your feelings is when you start to become depressed.
That's why we're here, podcasting to the masses.
And
cue us. Yeah.
Wine?
Yes.
Or did you have more to say? I'm sorry.
No, I don't have no fucking clue. That's fine. Because I realize that I have my camera going and I'm drinking the wine already.
Cheater.
It's in my hand, but that's only because
Full disclosure.
This is take 2. We've already introduced the wine in a deleted podcast episode.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it again.
Yes.
I'm going to have to, which actually works out because the last time I read this, I'm pretty sure that I definitely sounded like I was still learning how to deal with my dyslexia. So
dry eyes.
I'm going to give it another try.
Dry eyes.
Clear eyes.
That's what you sounded like when you were reading it to me.
Benstein. Oh, okay.
Pre-wine.
This is called the Immortal Zin.
I like it.
It's obviously a Zin.
A red
a
Zin.
Zinfandel. Yes, not a white Zin. It is by the Peirano Estate. Peirano? P-E-I. I'm going to just say Peirano Estate Vineyards. Gnarly, twisted, and over 100 years old, Peirano Estate Vineyards' old head pruned, natural rooted Zinfandel vines continue to retain their immortal status.
Old head what?
Old head pruned.
What the fuck is that?
It's an old head and it was cut off. I don't really understand. I don't know wine. Yeah.
Love it.
A what wine?
Lorena Bobbitt.
What's... Shut up.
She pruned an old head.
They have been... You're an asshole. They have seen 6 generations of Peiranos tend to them, utilizing many sustainable farming practices. These ancient vines continue to produce intense, mature, elegant fruit here in the heart of the Lodi appellation, allowing us, fertile, allowing us to produce this alluring bottle of Immortal Zinfandel wine. Have you committed the Immortal Zin yet?
Probably. Yesterday.
And it's 2016. Did I mention that?
I don't remember.
And $14.99 a bottle.
All right. Let's give it a gnarly whirl.
Yeah. Gnarl this whirl. Let's bob it this wine.
Yes. Whirl.
Oh, we're far away from each other. Cheers.
Cheers.
So good.
Love it.
I could have told you that before I took it.
It's like super juicy, but it's still dry.
Yeah, which is what I like in a wine.
Yeah, me too,
personally.
Apparently.
That's why I like a lot of cabs, but there are some of those cabs that are so dry and acidic.
Yeah, like cooking wine.
Yes.
We've had a couple of those.
Yes. Yes, we did.
This one is really good. Definitely we recommend.
4
out of 5.
Yes. 4 out of 5. I was like, Florida 5. Why? Because there's no depressed people there?
You can't be depressed on meth.
Oh, yes. So, I do want to have a little brag.
Please do.
A little brag.
I love it when you brag.
Just a small brag.
Love it.
I think I've shared this with you already. I know I shared this with you
never mind
yesterday.
Then. I only like the ones that you don't tell me
but
about.
But this one's
already.
exciting.
I'm just kidding.
Just
I don't even remember.
I've, turned into a podcast head.
Yeah.
And I love podcasts. And that's how I actually, on Instagram is how I discovered Rachel Sievers on Consent to Treat.
Yes, you told me about her and I listened and she's friggin' awesome.
She's brilliant. And she requested to follow me on Instagram.
Oh my God.
That is my brag.
You're
That's
Insta
it.
famous.
My life's made. One of my life.
Insta famous.
Listen, I don't care what status that gives me. She wrote to me and I have a direct line to therapy. I'm just kidding.
For free.
For free. No. No, she's just.
No, that is super exciting.
It is super exciting. It's like kind of like when you, it's like fangirling for me is
Right.
what it really is.
Yeah.
So like everyone needs to like reach out to their favorite podcasters right now. This is your notice. This is your time.
Joe Budden is never going to. He's just never going to know I exist ever.
God. There are so many fucking podcasts out there.
There are so many.
That I'm surprised there are people that listen to us.
I know.
Because there's so like there are more podcasts than there are radio stations, I think, in the world.
There's just so many.
So
who would have thunk?
Yeah, funk.
Thunk it.
Just funk it.
Would you just thunk it?
Would just funk at that.
What?
I don't know. It worked.
Would I thunk at that?
Just thunk at it.
I've had enough thunking for the day.
No shit. Questions.
Yes.
Guys, if you don't know, I'm Ray. That's Stephanie. I almost said that I'm Stephanie. That's Ray.
Yep.
Because that would have been funny. I should have just said it. Damn, thinking ahead. Goddamn therapy is working. And we bring you advice columns with our take over a glass of wine.
Yes.
So this week's questions are from the Slate.
We love the Slate.
But not from Prudy, although we love Prudy. This is from the How to Do It column.
Oh,
and this one in particular.
Doing it well.
Yeah. Is it doing it well or doing it wow?
Doing it well.
I know, but like what I heard as a kid and what other people said when I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doing it wow.
See how it works?
No.
Okay. Well, it doesn't work.
When you already know what the
I mean,
word
when
is.
you're like a preteen and you don't know what
oh yeah, I used
doing
to sing
it
some wild lyrics.
But like doing it, wow. Like, wow, you're old enough. So it works.
My emotions fell out.
No, it works. Oh,
yes.
Shit. So how to do it. The column on the Slate.
Yes.
October 7th, 2022. And this one was by Rich Juzwiak.
Oh.
Rich, if you're listening, can you tell us how to say your last name?
Please.
I promise we're not trying to butcher it. I'm sorry. I gave my husband permission to pursue his fantasy. Bad idea.
Oh.
Yes. I'm ready.
Curious.
Very. You ready?
Yeah.
Dear How to Do It. My husband and I are high school sweethearts and been together for over 15 years, but we are at a serious impasse. Dun, dun, dun. Over the years,
He's gay.
He's gay.
And you let him
Bad
be
idea.
The man. Bad idea. Now he wants to leave me for a man.
Over the years, the last 5 to 7, he has expressed his desires for more different sexual experiences. We agreed that he could have a, quote, side piece, unquote, as long as certain boundaries were kept. Biff, did you read this?
Oh my God, is it a guy?
I don't know. I haven't gone that far.
No, I did not read it. You're the one who found the questions.
I don't know if I've ever been fully comfortable with this, but I don't want to leave him, so I've been trying out of love. Every time he finds someone he may be interested in and I get wind, I lose my mind. That's in all caps. I lose my mind. Yes. And let me just put this out there, just out of context and to eliminate or to put my bias out there. I have thought about this if I would ever let go in a relationship enough for someone to be open on their end or have a side piece. And the answer to me is a resounding no. Yes. No.
Fuck no.
No, I can't do it. Can't do it. It's just me. If it works for you and you're
right,
it works for you guys.
Right.
Or you folks. Whatever.
Yeah.
It works for y'all.
Y'all motherfuckers.
Y'all motherfuckers. It does not work for me. It doesn't work for you.
Nope. Hard no.
So.
Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah. Shoo.
I will cut your dick off before I ever let you freely go fuck someone else.
And watch someone else bob it.
Yeah. Right.
He gets upset because he says we have talked about it and I have agreed and keep changing my mind. I understand and it's not fair to him, but I have no idea how to proceed. Neither of us wants a divorce, but I have no idea how to keep the peace. I get upset and distant, and in turn, he feels super guilty and doesn't end up going through with it to see these girls. He's fed up and we're going through a rough patch. Any advice? The lost wife.
So basically, he wants his cake to eat it too, and you're willing to eat cake crumbs.
Yes and no.
Yes.
Well, she kind of baked the cake by agreeing to it.
She's willing to eat the crumbs. She baked the cake for him.
This analogy is so lost on me.
He wants his cake and eat it too. He doesn't
Right.
want a divorce, but he wants to go bang other people.
Right.
So she baked him a cake saying, here you go. Here's other people. Now
they're
he's
the
eating.
cake.
Yes. Now
Right.
he's eating his cake because he gets to see other people and still keep his wife.
And she's left with
And
whatever's.
she's eating his crumbs because she doesn't want him to bang other people, but she doesn't want a divorce. So she's willing to eat the cake crumbs.
Well, that's the thing. Well, so is the crumbs. I guess this is where I'm getting lost in the analogy. And I love the analogy because I'm a baker. So
Even if you don't understand it.
I just love it. What kind of cake is it? No, the crumbs are the crumbs like that.
He's getting his cake and eating it
Well,
too.
by the sounds of it, he isn't. He's not going through with it because she freaks out. So are the crumbs
Right.
that resentment that she's like getting, like
the crumbs are like,
betrayal?
yes, like I don't really want you to do this, but I don't want to leave this marriage. So I'm saying yes, even though I'm not okay with it.
Like I'm licking the frosting off the box.
Yes. Like I'm getting the shit end of the stick.
That is not a cake analogy.
I am getting the stick end of the cake pop. Did that work?
Yes. I didn't even know where you were going with that. Yes.
That's how that was my immediate
I have to agree with you there.
response is that like, if you don't want him to see other people, that's okay. Maybe you guys can figure something else out. Maybe couple counseling. Maybe figure out like what is going on.
Yeah.
And if he just is kind of out of this to the point where he really wants to go be with other people, like maybe you need to check why you're wanting to stay in the marriage enough to like go against your own feelings.
Wants and I agree with you. In the grand scheme, what it really comes down to is you had a conversation, an open conversation, and that's beautiful and wonderful for the both of you in your relationship.
Right.
But now you don't agree. You're realizing it's making you feel a different way than you thought originally. Yeah. So again, it's another conversation. It's like the quote, the caps, I lose my mind.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really fair that you lose your mind because you're not
just to keep your marriage.
Right.
That's wild.
And you're not making, from what I hear about it, like a good effort to actually have like a serious conversation about it. If he wants to go out and he continues wanting to have something outside of the marriage and you're not comfortable with it, then you might have to entertain the very idea of a divorce or a separation if counseling doesn't work or is off the table.
Right.
Maybe a separation.
Because all I feel like that is going to come from this is just resentments.
Oh, yeah.
He finally follows through and goes and sleeps with someone. Then what?
It's going to be
you lose your shit at the thought of him doing it. So imagine what it's going to feel like when he does. Then that's all that's going to consume you.
You're right.
And he's going to hold it over you that you said I could.
And it's going to be your entire life.
Yep.
I think about those sitcom grandparents that move in with the main characters.
Yeah.
And it's like, they have so much resentment for being together for so long. Like, I don't know, something stupid like, oh, I dropped my glasses down the stairs. And the wife responds like, and when are you going to drop your balls? Like stupid shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of relationship you're cultivating.
Yeah. Just angry, resentful.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
And then he's going to, you said I could.
Yeah.
And then that's going to, what? So then now your feelings don't matter because you agreed to it? It just seems like lose-lose for you. You're either going to build this resentment or you're going to be in a miserable marriage because your husband wants to go bang other people and you can't get to the point where it's okay for you to, for him to. This is like a stick in a cakeless hard place.
It's like a cake pop with not enough frosting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like an empty cake pop.
This is a cupcake tin without no cupcake.
Yeah.
What?
Just sucks.
Yeah, I think you can take my silence for agreement. I really don't know where else to go with this other than like, hey, did you try getting under someone else? See if you can get your jollies. But like,
it doesn't seem like she wants to.
Yeah, like if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. It seems to be like a universal thing for her. So yeah,
it just feels very desperate, like a very desperate attempt to save your marriage, and that's not fair for you, for her.
No, it's not fair for either of them.
It's fair for him. He gets to go bang whoever he wants and still be married because she's so desperate to keep the marriage.
Right. No, what I'm saying is like it's not fair for either of them in that respect for her, but for him, like she gives him permission, and then when she finds out who it is, she's like, no. Like she wants to be active in the choosing process, or it's not even that. I think that she's just like, oh, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not fair to him to be like, well, you said we could do it, and now you're saying we can't, and we keep going back and forth on this. So which is it? So we can figure out our future.
I know he's a man, but no is a no. The first time that she kind of loses her shit about it should be like okay, this probably isn't going to work.
Well, the sounds of it to me is like she, she keeps changing her mind about it.
Yeah, because as soon as it starts becoming real, she's like, "Oh, fuck that."
Yeah, so she keeps like going back and being like, "Okay," and he's like, "I don't know what their interactions
are like." It's easier to say,
but like,
yeah, sure, go ahead.
But those are mixed messages nonetheless. So it's not like a his fault, her fault thing. It's what can you tolerate? What does he want?
Right. Where can we meet in the middle?
Can you meet in the middle? And if you can't, do you consider a separation so that you can see if absence makes the heart grow fonder?
Right.
Or do you get divorced?
Right.
Because it doesn't matter how fond that heart grows. He's been with other women.
Yep.
You know
I agree.
I mean?
Yeah.
Response?
Yes.
Let's go to it. Dear lost wife, your inconsistency may not be, quote, fair, unquote, to him, but his determination to forge an arrangement that you're clearly not comfortable with is not fair to you. It's rare to find a set it and forget it style open relationship. They generally require constant communication and, in my experience, room to shift as emotions dictate. It's wise to build them to bend. Feelings aren't mixed, and relationships don't have codified rules like sports. We're all feeling our way through it. We're all feeling our way through. If you, quote, lose your mind from your husband's mere interest in a prospective partner, I can only imagine that you do so if he'd actually hooked up. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that he'd prefer not to imagine that at all, but it's not a responsible strategy here. You both have needs and they are in conflict. You lose out if he has extracurricular sex. He loses out if he doesn't. There's a lot of jealousy literature out there specifically targeted for people in non-monogamous relationships.
Interesting.
Something that we didn't fucking think about.
Because why would we know that?
Why would we know that? You could try the jealousy workbook, for example. Since you didn't say exactly what bothers you about the idea of your husband sleeping with someone else and seem unsure about your exact level of comfort, it might be useful to figure out what exactly about this eats at you. There are also couples counselors that specifically concentrate on ethical non-monogamy and resources to find them, like this one. Click here. Who may be able to help you work through this, or at least work to a better understanding. Some people are monogamous, some people aren't. This might just be, unfortunately, a mismatch, but there is a lot more talking to do before you actually call it quits. Good luck.
Yeah.
We know a lot of shit, and then we don't.
I know. We nail it and then miss a huge section.
I know. We literally nailed the first paragraph. Yeah. Then the second one was like, but just in case,
also intelligent.
You want to see if you're just jealous a little bit.
Right.
I'd agree with all of it.
Yeah.
Is there anything
you definitely have a lot more talking to do before you call it quits.
Oh, yeah.
That's
agreed.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to add or something that you didn't necessarily agree with?
No, I think I agreed with it all. Yeah. I think for me, I don't think about why are you feeling jealous? Well, because I'm about to fuck another woman. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
For me,
I wouldn't think of it that way either.
common sense, but in, I guess, hindsight, it is what is the cause of jealousy. It's usually an insecurity within ourselves.
I wonder what that insecurity would be. Well, I mean, obviously that well, I don't know if it's obvious, or maybe this is just me like pointing out the obvious for us, but the insecurity that he's going to leave her just keeps coming to mind, and that's why she kind of like bent to this agreement. Could be, too,
because she is feeling a little bit desperate to keep the marriage.
Yeah, and now she's like, oh, I literally just gave you the key to the
right.
lock,
and you can literally just leave whenever you want.
Yeah,
that's a fair not introduction. When you pick up on
conclusion?
Something, that's a fair
deduction.
I wouldn't use the word deduction.
You would not. You would not. Is it synonymous with deduction?
Yeah, conclusion maybe. No, observation.
Ah, yes.
That's the word I was looking for.
I would use deduction. The two are synonymous.
Imagine that. You're synonymous with cocksucking. Can I say that on air?
I think we've said worse.
Yeah. See you next Tuesday.
Was that this recording or the last one?
Oh, right.
I don't remember.
Anyhow. Next.
This one's from October 12th, 2022. Again by Rich. It's called, I gave my wife a gift for the bedroom. Turns out she's been sharing it with her friend.
What?
I am seriously creeped out.
OMG.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is really funny. The picture is a neon eggplant and someone's hand holding a gift out. It's pretty funny.
She's sharing a dildo?
I don't know.
Well, if he's holding an eggplant.
Well, he's not holding the eggplant. The eggplant is the background, like neon light, like flickering, like an open sign. Literally. Wish you could see it. Dear How to Do It. I, 35 cisgender male, travel a lot for work. Related to that, about 5 years ago, my wife used this thing called Clone-A-Willy to cast it.
Oh
my God, I gotta stop.
Keep going.
Clone-A-Willy to cast a dildo to my, let's just say, personal specifications. I get home from a business trip a bit over a week ago.
Not your Willy.
Not your Willy. A trip over a week ago, and, quote, Denise has another one of the kits saying she wants to make one again. I asked if something happened to the first one, like it broke or something, and no. Denise tells me that her friend, Tammy, has been going through a nasty divorce since she gave her the dildo. What? Because this is apparently a thing that someone does, and now she needs a replacement for it. Literally not where I thought it was going.
Yeah, that's not really sharing.
I was seriously creeped out by the whole thing. Giving sex toys to a friend is a bit weird.
I'm sorry, keep going.
Giving a used sex toy is even weirder and possibly some kind of hygienic issue. But giving one that's modeled off my junk feels vaguely violating.
Yeah.
I don't really like Tammy much. Which
definitely not that much.
Which might be complicating things as well. But the wife and I quarreled about this, and I wanted to write in to somewhere anonymous to get an outside perspective on the sexual ethics of this. My wife says the whole thing is none of my business. I still feel creeped out by it all, and again, somewhat violated. Am I overreacting here? Confounded.
I want you to go first because you're a man, so you can relate to possibly where he's coming from.
Here's a couple things. The first thing that really stood out to me is like, fuck, I don't like Tammy either.
Yeah.
Fuck Tam. I'm just kidding. I don't have a Tammy in my life.
Essentially is fucking Tammy.
He is fucking
Or she's fucking him, let's say. That's so creepy.
It's so weird. No means no.
That's so creepy.
It is a little it's a lot creepy. So for me, first of all, it's like
I can't.
Should have just taken a picture of my dick and showed it to your friend. That's the first thing that popped into my head. Like my dick, girth, size, shape, angle, vein, ball to shaft connection area is my business and your business. So yes, this is my business.
Yes.
This is my business. Also, what is my business is that you're asking me to make a new one to replace. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't care if Tammy knows that this is a likeness of my dick or not.
I'd imagine she does.
I'd imagine she does, because if she's close enough to be
Close
sharing a
enough
dildo.
Exactly.
You know, and sure, maybe she ran it through the dishwasher, which is a thing if you didn't know.
I didn't. I've never put a dildo
Maybe she
in
ran the
dishwasher.
dildo through the dishwasher and just like gave it to her or whatever. Like, the hygienic part's not killing me.
I mean, they do have cleaners and stuff.
They do.
Yeah. But still, I would never. Ugh.
Like, if a friend just like, do you want this dildo?
Like, oh, I've only used it twice. My husband just made it. I would be like, that's like underwear. Like, even if they're washed, it's just like, no thanks.
Yeah. I'm glad you made that connection. But yeah.
Like, no thanks. I love you. You're my best friend. I know that you're not weird and creepy gross, but like, that's weird and creepy gross. Like, I'm just going to go to Walmart and get underwear.
It's true.
I don't. And I think it's creepier that it's like his physical, well, kind of physically his penis.
It's really interesting to kind of get questions where it's like, I don't want to share any part of my partner.
Yeah, like it's
big
one
problem.
thing to like,
and then you get these questions.
Like, look at this picture of my husband's dick. And it's another thing to be like, use this dildo that is my husband's dick and go fuck yourself with it.
And
so now you know how I exactly. So now you know what I'm feeling every night.
It's just like, I guarantee you he doesn't work it like you do.
Like, this whole situation is...
It's odd as fuck.
It's creepy.
It's very odd.
It's creepy.
So, is he overreacting? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think
it's weirder for the, like, no. I wouldn't, no. I'd show a girlfriend, like, oh, look at my husband's trunk. But I'm not going to be like, no. Like, no. You just, no. You're not going to feel.
Maybe she's just so proud of this dick, you know?
I don't get that vibe.
I know. I don't either.
Because then she would just, like, show her, like, look at what I made Billy make last night. Like, this is his thing. But to be like, here, let me gift this to you. It's my husband's penis.
Here, Billy's Willy in a box.
Yes. Only used it twice. It's okay. I washed it with Dawn dish soap.
It saves ducks.
Like, it's about to save your quacker. Like, I just can't wrap my head, no pun intended, around any of this. I don't want my best friend to know what my husband's dick feels like. I don't care if I show her a picture, but that's it.
I don't
care
if it's body warm, lukewarm, cold right out of the drawer. That's my man's dick.
Exactly. I'm going to show you because you're my friend and he's got a great dick, but you ain't feeling it. You ain't going to think about it and picture him and all this other, like, you're not going to have an orgasm from my husband's dick, whether it's his dick or not.
Right. I'm wondering if he kind of feels like, and this is a very big stretch, okay? So just play with.
No, I think I already agree with you.
Does he feel like maybe she's like giving him the green light? Does he feel like she wants to share him?
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going.
Where did you think I was going? I had one more point and I already forgot it.
Where it was like, for the husband now, he feels like Tammy's like gonna be looking at him with that eye.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
no, but I think I alluded to that earlier, like, where she's like gonna fall in love with him.
Yeah, but like now when he sees her in person, now she's like, I literally know your dick tip to tip.
Literally. Like, yeah, that's really awkward. And that's a really weird situation.
If they're best friends, she's obviously around. He's around her enough to not like her. So now she's going to be walking in the house like, Billy, you did that thing I liked last night.
It's so weird.
You made me come 3 times last night.
Here's a thought.
Like,
if Janet was smarter than Billy.
Imagine if, like, Billy gave Tommy a pocket pussy of his wife's vagina.
Oh, all hell would break loose.
Like, what are you thinking? Why would you even do that? Now he's gonna pretend he's fucking me. And now every time he comes over, he's gonna look at me and think about fucking me. Because now he knows what it feels like to fuck me. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's crossing a line for sure.
It's weird. Now,
for me, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
And this is definitely a form of sharing.
Oh, yes. Yes. This is a threesome request forthcoming. Pun intended.
Yeah, because all Tammy has to say is like, I'm pretty much already fucking you.
And he doesn't even like Tammy.
Right, that makes it even
fuck off, Tammy. I don't like you. So we got Tammy, we got
but
Billy.
Don't fuck off, Tammy, because you're going to use my dick to do it.
We got Tammy and we've got Billy. Oh, there's more?
Stop.
Oh, no, there isn't. I'm sorry. So, I'm going to name the wife Janet because that's just her name. And so Janet.
But we like Janet.
We like Janet, but it just sounds like a Janet thing to do. Like, what?
I was going to say.
What? Like, I didn't.
She needed it.
If you're a Janet, we're not talking about you.
Yeah.
We're just talking about a Janet.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, if she was smart enough, wouldn't she buy the Clone-A-Willy and clone the dildo and not, you know what I mean? Like, without telling him.
Why not just buy a whole fucking dildo to give to Tammy?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Did Tammy really want this dildo? What is it about this dildo that, you know?
Just if your friend needs it. Yeah, Tammy can go buy her own dildo.
Give her a gift card. If you want to help her.
Tell her, go buy a dildo.
Go buy a dildo.
I just made one with my husband and it's great.
Yeah. Make one with your ex.
Don't make one with your husband, but go find a bigger, better one.
Yes.
Well, like,
but if she really wanted to share her husband's peen, wouldn't it have been smart for her to do it that way? That's no longer an issue. That's like, that question's moot at this point because very good point, Biff. But I think about these things like, you have to know that someone's going to feel a way about this, right? You're not stupid.
Maybe
we're going to assume.
You are.
So like, why wouldn't you like find a workaround?
Even offering to give up a used dildo, like
maybe she and Tammy are really close in college.
They clearly are super close. Closer than what Billy knows.
Oh, Billy.
Maybe this is like a freak thing between Janet and Tammy. Maybe they're in a secret relationship.
Maybe. I don't think Billy's overreacting.
And maybe that's why Tammy's getting a divorce.
Maybe.
She's leaving her man.
For Janet. Tammy and Janet sitting on a peen. Pille.
Pille?
Well, E because Billy, the last sound in Billy.
Oh, B.
Yeah.
I heard P.
Oh,
Pille.
Pilly.
Yeah.
I don't know. That didn't land the way it was supposed to.
Next.
Oh. I gotta start thinking about shit before I say it.
No, please don't. It'll be way less fun.
And can we get to the response on this one?
Yeah,
Dear Confounded, what's actually no one's business is the size and shape of your dick, unless you make it their business, consensually, of course. Right?
Yes.
I agree with you. You had every reason to expect your private part would remain private. I don't see this situation being much different from one in which Denise shows Tammy, oh right, her name's Denise, not Janet.
Oh,
damn it. Showed Tammy naked pictures of you that you had given her. Nice job, Biff. Technically, the pictures would be hers, but unless otherwise stated, ownership comes from implicit terms.
Yeah,
no
ownership.
Sharing. Over shit?
Ownership.
Did I say shit?
Yeah.
How about ownership?
It's less fun, but I get it.
Okay. Comes from implicit terms, no sharing. You're not Your not liking Tammy does compound things. Someone that you aren't fond of is especially not entitled to personal information that hasn't been cleared by you. So congrats, you're right. Now you have to decide what you're going to do with that rightness. Being right in a domestic disagreement is sometimes like being a millionaire in Monopoly money. Practically speaking, it's worthless. Yeah. If you think it's worth the drama, have at it. But know that flaunting your moral superiority could escalate matters and perhaps challenge the future of your relationship. I advise you to tread lightly unless you really do want to shake things up. You can refuse to make another cast of your dong. Reiterate your feelings of violation and tell Denise if she wants your portable penis so bad, she'll have to ask Tammy for it back. Hopefully, the toy can in fact be sterilized by boiling, for example. Depends on the material. There are cleaners that may or may not work on it too. The way I see it, your wife violated your trust and she doesn't deserve a second chance at a replica of your dick. But that's about as punitive as you can be without turning this into an even bigger problem. So trust was a big one I didn't take away from this.
Right.
And I don't know why it feels like it's very like obvious.
Yeah, I agree.
But
once you think about it, like, now I don't trust you no more.
Right.
Now I don't trust you sending you little videos while I'm away.
I don't trust sharing anything with you because you literally shared my most private possession, my dick.
After you used it.
Right.
Like,
so yeah, trust is a big one.
You have no boundaries.
Also saying you want another one of my dick, get Tammy to give it back to you.
Yeah, I do like that part.
Yeah. Because until Tammy gives it back to you, you aren't even going to see the real thing.
Oh, imagine. Good play. Good play.
I mean, it's a little petty, but also I feel a little appropriate personally.
I like it.
You know?
I like it.
So, want it so bad.
Right.
It's very interesting.
So go get it back and then keep it to your damn self.
Yeah.
Like our marriage.
I like that trust.
Yeah, that is facet a good point.
Of it.
Yeah.
We didn't go there. We don't think of the basic shit.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like
we're like coming in to condemn people.
Like, ew, that's creepy, gross, divorce her.
Yeah. Like use the cleaner on it and then burn it. Just to make a point. Yikes.
Tell her you ain't getting the real dick till you get the fake one back.
No real dick.
I really like that.
Yeah.
We
like that one better.
Could be petty, but that's what I'd do.
It's a little petty, but also like I feel like he's on an even playing field.
It's making a point.
It's an even playing field. Like you literally
like she's gonna get
you
that
might as well
serious.
have sold it on eBay.
She's gonna get that he's serious.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, maybe he's really that bothered by it where like now I can't even have sex with him and he's not even making me another willy. So like maybe I'm gonna ask Tammy for it back, throw it away, and start fresh. Because the whole thing is just doesn't sit right. Like a used dildo doesn't really sit right.
Yeah, I'm trying to justify it ethically in my head and I can't. It's a little
I can't.
It's one thing if it's your partner, you know what I mean? Like if you're sharing a dildo or sharing a pocket pussy or ass or sharing a cock ring or like it's your partner.
You're
so like
it together. It's
and it's like you're obviously okay with it because you're already putting your mouth, orifice,
right,
chest, hair, I don't care, whatever it is. Yeah.
And
other stuff. Yeah. That's a whole other story. But like Biff, you know, I'm not single anymore and I just don't need this prostate massager. And I know you don't have a prostate, but they're the same thing as a vibrator. So like, I used Cascade.
Yeah, that's going to be a soft no. I didn't know which to go with there. Hard no. Soft no. Strong no.
Dry
That's
no.
a strong dry,
That's a dry no.
That is a strong dry no.
Oh my God.
Thank you for the thought though.
THOT.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm glad we've been aligning with these last two.
Yeah, well,
I
we're
guess
often on the same page.
I know. But sometimes we have those little like
That's true.
quirks about us. And
That's true. I
think
was
we're doing
curious from the male's perspective of this.
I feel violated.
Yeah.
If Colin asked me to clone a Willie and I
And then
Willie
gave
cloned
it to his friend.
and gave it to like one of his close friends
who you don't even like.
Well, I'm just thinking about the ones that I do like. You know what I mean? Like if he gave it to them, I'd still be like,
And right. And now they walk in the house looking like they just orgasmed. And you're like, wow.
I did that? Wait, hold on.
You're welcome.
Hold on. Hold on. Now I feel better. No.
Are we cheating? Is this cheating?
It's literally a question of that. Like you literally cheated on me
now this
for us.
Friend is going to look at me like.
Or it's like you made me cheat without me. Right?
And I wasn't even drunk.
I wasn't even drunk. I was at work.
I wasn't even here.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. I'd love to hear so many other perspectives on this.
I know.
We have one more.
Please do.
Sending it. This one's from October 26th, 22, also from Rich. My boyfriend says I'm not allowed to veto him sleeping with my friend.
What?
I don't want to control him.
Just make a clone of Willie.
Yes.
There, now it's the same.
And give it to your friend.
Exactly.
Oh, Tammy, Denise. Any input here? Dear How to Do It. I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for almost 3 years. From the first date, he told me he was polyamorous. And while I had little to no experience in ethical non-monogamy, was willing to give it a shot. We've had our ups and downs throughout the years, but I think we've reached a place where we're communicating openly. I've also come to learn that I'm not really polyamorous, but since he considers it an essential part of his sexuality, I'm willing to accept him seeing other people if it makes him happy.
Why do we do this as women?
And gay men.
Why?
I don't know.
This is so upsetting.
There are so many other layers to that we have to consider too, that going down that rabbit hole is at least 3 episodes.
That you feel, think, or believe in for the sake of somebody else is never...
It's never a good idea.
It's never going to work.
Doesn't matter if it's sex, doesn't matter if it's religion, doesn't matter if it's politics.
Anything. I'm going to go against my feelings just to appease you.
Yeah.
And expect that to work.
And that's the worst part, is the expectation for it to work.
Like, it's so disheartening.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
It's devaluing of yourself.
Yes.
You know?
I'm eating cake crumbs to give you a cake that I don't even like.
Which is really funny because I can recall instances where you and I have done things where we've jeopardized our own integrity for the sake of the relationship. But I also, and I don't mean to come off as judgmental, but sex was never one of those things you and I would place a caveat on.
Nope.
Ever.
If you cheated, you're done.
Right.
We're done.
That's just us, though.
Stuck through a lot of
And that's where the traditional
things.
thing comes in for the both of us. Like one partner.
Yeah.
And we're it.
Yeah.
You know, but like, again, not condemning the people who have it successfully work for them.
Yeah, for them it could be something else that feels the same for us.
Right. But for the people who hold that monogamy near and dear, you know, if it's like
especially
the value
if you're married,
in the relationship.
like you literally take vows.
Like to me, that places value on the relationship, that one-on-one. You know what I mean?
I feel like I've tried for a long time to understand like polyamory, open relationships. And I just, for whatever reason, I can't. And I know people have said that like we weren't created to be monogamous.
I've heard that so many times.
That still doesn't make sense to me.
I don't think that, I mean, I think that there are so many layers to it that if we keep peeling the onion, we're going to find the biggest onion in the world, you know, but yes, but to me, the thought is like, there, what immediately jumps out at me rather is that there are people who are more secure in their relationships. And so this works for them and it works both ways. I've also seen people where one side is open and the other one, like one person's open, the other one isn't.
I
But there
guess
is
I don't
that.
understand the point. You should be getting, right? If you're in a relationship, especially a marriage, like
You're in
you
that
begin,
because,
right? Because you're getting the things that fulfill you and make you happy. And I love this person, and it's give, give. And so, what about that? Now I need to do that with multiple people at the same time.
so I get that in the context that you and I, we
Right.
started off monogamous, we got married monogamous, and now you're saying that I'm not enough. I get that in that context.
Yes, but not even in that context.
But in the context of this, where she
Polyamory,
went
like,
in,
why is that that for me, polyamory is like, I'm kind of scared of commitment.
well, so that's exactly where I'm going,
Like,
is like, I don't want to commit or I'm scared to commit. And
I get
yes,
to literally do whatever I want.
I will emotionally commit to you, but physically, I
That's
can't
not
promise that.
emotional commitment.
I don't know that it isn't.
How can you share yourself emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, every sense with multiple people?
Well,
You're only
see,
getting little bits.
that's where I disagree because, and I'm not one of these people, people separate emotion and sex all the time. And sex is just sex
But
to people.
isn't polyamory relationships?
Yes, but in the context that this person's writing, it doesn't seem that way. It seems like this person just wants to have sex with other people. It feels more of like, actually, I should finish reading it.
Yeah, do that.
What do you think?
Great plan.
Literally just went off on a tangent. We don't even know what the question is. There's like 2 more paragraphs.
Okay.
I'm willing to see, just to finish off where we left off. I'm willing to accept him seeing other people if it makes him happy. Since the beginning, he's been adamant that he does not do hierarchical, hate that word, polyamory because he doesn't want to give me veto power. That's been a bit of a straight, I'm sorry, what?
Veto power?
He's adamant that he doesn't do hierarchical polyamory because he doesn't want to give me veto power. So it's
Like
a level playing field across the board. Not one person holds more power than the other in the relationship.
But how does one person hold more?
I don't really know. I think we need to understand the tenets of polyamory too. That's the thing. In polyamory, that's what she's referencing. I don't know. Let's get through this. I think
let's try.
We have too many questions already.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of a sticking point for us because while I don't want veto power, I would just kind of like the label to make me feel secure in the fact that I'm a priority. He swears up and down that I am, but still doesn't. I'm so sorry. My eyes just played a big trick on me. And this is part of our podcast if you're still hanging on. He swears up and down that I am, but still doesn't want to use the term primary. I haven't pushed the issue lately because in the end, labels don't really matter. And otherwise, I'm happy with the relationship. Okay, so that hierarchical is primary partner.
So what's veto powder?
Veto power is the primary partner saying like, oh, I don't really approve this person.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were at a wedding a few weeks ago and he started hanging out a lot with my friend Grace. I don't think too much of it because Grace is engaged. Her fiance had to miss the wedding and she was asking my partner for advice about her new job. I know they've had some phone calls and meetings since then, but I figured it was all business related. But last night, after a couple of drinks, my boyfriend confessed that he and Grace had acknowledged that there was an attraction growing between them and asked my thoughts on pursuing him. Or pursuing it.
Oh, I was going to say, yes. Who asked?
Yes. I told him I needed time to think over it, but I hate it. I really don't want my partner hooking up with the friend I introduced him to. Plus, we all hang out in a giant friend group. And while we're semi-out about being poly, I don't want to add messiness to my closest friends. I don't think, Grace's fiance would ever accept the idea, so I'm not overly concerned with the possibility. But how do I express my concerns without using a veto? I don't want to control how my boyfriend conducts his life, but how do I say, please don't fuck my friends? Please don't fuck my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's her sign off.
Well, that's what you do. Please don't fuck my friends.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to put aside the polyamory and the multiple sex partners in a serious relationship thing because that's not the question. Question is,
I can't put that stuff past.
Well, I'm saying for the sake of answering the question.
No, I know.
You know, like, I personally, like you, I don't feel it or
like an
understand
asshole.
it. You think so?
Yeah.
You
don't get veto power. Like,
to me, this feels more, and you know what? I hope someone corrects me on this because polyamory to me is inviting someone into the relationship, right? A throuple,
like sister
four
wives?
people, sister wives, like that kind of thing. To me, it sounds more of like an open relationship in their respect, where he's just allowed to sleep.
She's not interested in like.
She's okay with him sleeping around, but she feels like she should be able to say, "Not my friends."
I hate for her that she doesn't feel safe to say, please don't fuck my friends.
That's a very valid point.
Like, that's why I feel like he's not, like, I can't pretend to understand the whole poly world and like zero judgment, genuinely zero judgment.
More questions than judgment.
Yeah, just interest, curiosity, super curious how this works for you guys and why. But with all that aside, if you don't feel safe or comfortable enough to speak your feelings, regardless if it's a monogamous relationship, an open relationship, a poly relationship, there's an issue.
Yeah.
And I don't think the issue is like, is he going to bang my friends or not? The issue is like, you don't even feel safe enough to say, you're asking how to ask your partner, the person you're supposed to be safe and intimate and close with. You don't know how to ask him not to sleep with your friends. Like, there's the issue. I don't think the issue is him sleeping with your friends. Like, there's something there for you to not even feel safe enough to say, like, can you just please not fuck my friends? I don't really care who you fuck, when, where, how, whatever, but just not my friends. Yeah. Right? Like, you should be able to say that.
I
regardless
agree
of
with you
titles and regardless 100%. Of like, oh, I don't want to sound like I'm using veto power. Like, that should come second to your feelings.
Yeah. Yes.
Otherwise, you're in the wrong relationship.
I agree with you. The thing
he just wants a yes man.
The thing that stuck something. The thing that stuck out most to me, and I think I'm just being very introspective of it, is that the relationship's already over. Because what you're saying, like, I don't feel safe bringing up my concerns around you.
Right.
B, you don't want to have a hierarchy in this polyamorous relationship, thereby not granting me veto power, thereby not giving me value to you in this relationship, thereby insinuating that at any given moment, someone else becomes your primary without a title.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Thereby, let me add one more. I don't trust you.
Yeah.
And I'm better off. I get it.
It doesn't feel like there's a very strong communication path.
It doesn't feel like there's a strong connection. It sounds like
he's just collecting
she's bending,
women.
And he's like, you know.
We don't use labels. You don't get to be my main piece.
Right.
You're all my side pieces, as far as I'm concerned.
That's exactly where I was going.
And that's what I mean. Like, he just sounds like a doucher.
Yeah. He's got you all on retainer.
And none of you can say otherwise because there's no hierarchy and none of you have veto power.
Yeah. There's a lot that can be misconstrued in this question only because of that that facet of polyamory, like, and being open. Are they synonymous?
Good word.
So
Biff.
sorry. I did not think about that.
Good word.
I just used it. But are polyamory and open relationship, are they the same thing? I always thought polyamory was opening up the relationship.
Like we all
bring
kind of
people into
one
the
big happy
relationship.
family.
Right.
And an open relationship is more like, hey, I hooked up with this guy,
Right.
or I want to hook up with this guy.
I've only known, that's a lie. Very recently, I found out about a couple that I know that no one has veto power. Well, one has veto power, the other one doesn't. But I digress.
See, how does that?
I have no idea.
It doesn't work. That's like this
I have
relationship.
No idea. But
that's people.
Like, if like you've got to be equals. If this is gonna work, you've got to be equals, which means this is your primary partner.
Well, he doesn't believe in primaries, and she's clearly not okay with that.
And she's
so
not okay
there's
with
your
it.
answer.
Yeah, the relationship's
if you're
over.
Asking, you already know the answer.
You know, as much as I say that, I don't think it applies to every situation. In this particular circumstance, absolutely.
If you're asking, if it doesn't feel okay, if it isn't.
Mm-hmm. English. If it isn't English,
then I don't want it.
Then I don't want it.
Like,
that's a lie. She loves me.
I do. I also want you to teach me non-English.
Yes.
Anyway, wait.
We've got to be equals about this, though. Like, can I teach you Spanish and Portuguese?
Yes, please.
My God.
Just one at a time.
I love this. And you know what?
This open relationship.
You have veto power.
No shit.
Do I have veto power? Wow. I'm just going to write to Rich Jews we at.
Yeah, please do. Matter of fact, you should write to Ill Advice.
I should. Those motherfuckers get it.
Yeah. Anyways, what I was saying is that your feelings always matter. They always count. If something doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel good, you don't have to suck it up. You don't have to ignore it. You don't have to ignore it.
This is going to sound very, not conceptual. It's going to sound very baseline, very elementary, very basal, but love does not mean your feelings don't matter. Period.
Yeah. Putting somebody else's needs above your own isn't always love.
It's not. It's if you're not that person's parent in the relationship,
right?
It isn't love.
If you're uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, and you can't even communicate that, then something's off. Something needs to be
recalibrated, realigned, or let go.
Yep, or let go.
Let go. This is a big one for me because
we're just so scared that we're not going to find more or new or better
or what we're looking for,
next.
What we want, what we need.
So we settle.
You know, and God knows I've settled so many times.
I'm going to just keep my mouth shut.
Back at you, motherfucker.
Whatever, I'm drinking wine.
If this is why we're here, to tell everyone the other's dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's much more that I can contribute to this. I think we're in alignment in that respect. There's just, actually, are we? The relationship just doesn't seem to be a relationship. It's very one-sided. And if she doesn't feel like she has the space to
even communicate, not even just like,
that's important.
Of course.
You need a
everything.
safe space to communicate.
Well, that's what I was saying. If you can't even say like, hey, look, I'm not trying to be veto queen, but please don't fuck my friends. Like, there's other issues in the relationship than that.
Fuck the bitch at Macy's. Fuck the waitress at whatever.
But not my engaged friend.
Right. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Response?
Yeah. I'm curious.
Dear, please don't. Your question is, how do I veto without a veto? I hope spelling it out like that frustrates the impossibility of your aspiration. I'm sorry. Wow. Illustrates the impossibility of your aspiration. The fact is, a lot of general concessions on your part have led you to this place of acute discomfort. Little by little, your boyfriend has guided you further away from a relationship style that truly suits you and into a situation that suits him. An open mind and dogged consideration for your partner's needs are wonderful qualities to bring to a relationship, but I think they've been used somewhat at your expense. I'm surmising that being in a relationship without vetoes and hierarchies keeps your boyfriend feeling safe. It certainly preserves his ability. It certainly preserves his ability to conduct his life the way he sees fit. The problem is you're feeling unsafe as a consequence. This is a lopsided agreement. It does seem like this guy has been straight with you. This is who I am. This is how I live my life. Take it or leave it. Everything you've described about his approach to polyamory is common. Plenty of people live this way and find joy and harmony within, especially when they have a like-minded partner. But that doesn't mean it's going to be right for you, especially as someone who isn't in polyamory. He can hold on to this rule, and I completely understand and admire the idealism that generally underpins such arrangements. Something to the effect of, we're together, but we want to be together, irrespective of labels and obligations. But relationships take work, and I don't think a set it and forget it approach is going to be tenable in the vast majority of cases. Maybe that's what he's looking for, and he's effectively imposing a test on the relationship. If I can operate accordingly to his parameters, it's the one for him. If not, he's out of here. But your agency is important, and while I understand your trepidation, I think you need to speak up. As it stands, your dynamic is set up so that you bend to him, but by virtue of his rules that masquerade as a kind of anarchy, there's no real space for you to bend to him. That's only going to lead to more issues, like the Grace situation in time, and your boyfriend has the trump card. I don't get a sense that a relationship that leaves you voiceless about your boyfriend having sex with your friend is the relationship for you. It's okay for you to say that regardless of the veto taboo. The no veto rule is an ideal. Your concern is practical in nature. Just be prepared for him to walk should you put your foot down. That might actually be better for you in the long run. You can't work with someone who won't work with you.
I like it.
Yeah. Kind of tackled from every angle what we were saying.
Yeah.
Where it's like your relationship, to me, like, what I guess resonating with me is like your relationship is over. Like might be okay for you to walk away from this. You know,
yeah.
You're not, he's polyamorous. You're not.
Right.
Because that's what I'm getting. I don't know if she's hooked up with other people or he has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like it's just very one-sided. And yeah,
Absolutely.
giving the other person, there's no hierarchy, but there is.
Right, because I'm the king.
Because I'm calling the shots, right?
Right. And just, you guys are all my servants.
Yeah, so just like
I don't
you
have
said,
a queen.
like
I just have all side pieces.
Right. I can't.
I would love to talk to somebody who is poly and lives poly and get to like the, I guess, center of that.
And then also talk to a therapist that specializes in this area.
Yeah, no, yeah.
A really important, I think.
Because I want to know because for me, coming from a monogamous point of view, it just like kind of screams like detachment and like fear of commitment and like just, I don't know, but clearly I could be way off. You know what I mean?
To me, I agree with you to an extent. To me, sometimes it just comes off to like
how can you?
I like free love.
Can you actually love a plethora of people?
Yeah, that's a kind of a hard thing for you to wrap your mind around, especially because love isn't tangible. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no physical grasping.
Can you give all of you to more than one person?
I know.
I don't feel like you can.
And that's why we can't.
25%, 25%, 25%.
Oh, yeah. One more 25%.
25%. That equals $1.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But that's just from I don't have any other insight to go off of.
Right. Yeah,
You know what I
because we
mean?
don't really have experience
We're
in that
not,
area.
yeah, no.
And I'm okay with that personally.
Yeah, me too. I'm just super curious about it.
Yeah.
Can you genuinely love, like deeply love more than one person? Or is that the point of poly? You don't have to.
That's a really good,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Poly is one thing that, and you know me, I am obsessed with figuring things out, understanding
Right.
all facets, like everything. And just poly for the life of me, I haven't been able to grasp yet.
I'm wondering if psychologically therapists, psychiatrists, etc., actually have a grasp on this psychologically,
Yeah,
or if it's again another one of those theories where they, it's almost like we don't need to understand,
right?
As human
or maybe
beings.
It's no different than a monogamous relationship, other than the amount of people involved in one situation.
Maybe it's all very theoretical to me, because this is like right there next to like, is there a God? Because you don't have tangible scientific proof, yes or no.
And then you hear more times than not things that like don't go well, or like that Sister Wives show. It's like a shit show. But I'm sure that people in poly relationships are like, this is not poly. Like, this is just specifically them. And like, this is TV. But it just kind of, for me, it makes sense that like, okay, great. And now I have a whole family with this man who has a whole family with another woman who has a whole family with another woman. Now there's 12 kids involved. And he's picking a home on Tuesdays, I'll sleep at Tammy's. Wednesdays, I'll be at Wanda's. Right? Like,
Tammy and Wanda.
You know what I mean? Like, how does that actually work?
I know. It's very...
And can you truly give all of yourself to more than one person at the same time?
It's just a total mind fuck.
Do we have jealousy set so much so that like there is a person in whom jealousy doesn't exist?
Does jealousy exist?
Like,
I'm very curious to know too, in a poly relationship where 3 or 4 of you have agreed that you're in a relationship, if number 4 or number 1, whoever in the series of the hierarchy, if there is one, if one of them ventures out but doesn't pull someone into the relationship,
that's probably cheating.
Is it cheating?
And why?
But then again, the way that we've been reading this in these couple of articles is poly relationship, or is it sex also? Is it just open?
Right. I feel like that's probably the difference between poly and open relationship.
I think so
like
too.
An open relationship is like, I'm just banging.
I think Latin roots poly is multiple.
Poly is, yeah.
And amorous is love.
Yeah. So poly, I think that's the separation between open and poly. It's like we're actually
committed to each other. Yeah.
Or not.
Or yeah.
Because there's 12 of you.
We're not just mono-amorous.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to delve more into all that stuff.
Yeah, we could probably...
It's definitely interesting, and I definitely
flesh out a billion episodes with that, because it's just such a... I think we'd be asking about so many different pieces of it that we just confuse the fuck out of ourselves and then wind back at the initial conversation.
I personally don't know anyone who has been in poly or open relationships where it worked out, other than... Can I say his name?
Give me a fake one.
How am I going to do that? Larry.
Were they poly or were they open?
I think they were just open.
They were just open.
But I'm saying poly and open. I have never personally seen one that like lasted for any significant amount of time.
There were one of my
Personally,
exes
I'm not
had
saying that it doesn't. Personally, I haven't.
one of my exes had a group of friends that were poly. There were 3 of them, but they were also open, which threw me for a loop.
So at this point, you're all just roommates banging whoever you want.
Right. Like it's college.
Right.
Or maybe not. I don't know.
Or maybe not. I'm
My head hurts.
baffled.
I think I need
Baffling.
food.
I second that.
Yes. Guys, thanks for listening to this rant and a shit show of an episode, I feel like. Or maybe just the shit show before the episode.
Yeah, I think we pulled it together.
Did we?
Pretty well.
I don't know.
We did we.
We did we.
We did we.
You do you. We did we. We do we.
Yeah.
We do we. It
Yeah.
sounds French. We do we.
Oh. We totally need a restaurant called We Do We.
We do we. Stupid American. We do we.
America.
You do you. Over there. Get the fuck out of my restaurant.
That was like French Asian.
Yeah, it totally
combined.
was.
Maybe that can be our food.
French Asian fusion.
Yes.
Escargot teriyaki.
Fusion.
Fusion.
Yes.
Fucking, that took me a second.
Yeah, I know.
Guys, send us your questions, comments, all your concerns, and help.
All of your concerns.
All of your concerns.
If you're poly, please write to us.
Oh, yeah.
We're not. We want to know. We really want to know.
Yeah, this open relationship thing, we've been questioning it for years.
Curious about it.
As long as
not
I've
questioning it.
not
We've been
yes,
curious
sorry.
about it.
We've been curious about it, not questioning. You're totally correct, Biff. My apologies. Just
Thank you.
it's ever since we came across it because it was a new concept to us.
Yeah, we're like, wait a minute, that ain't cheating.
What?
He's allowed to. She allowed.
You let
Did
her
she?
do that? You let her
Yeah,
corner
like what?
Willie? Like,
Well, yeah.
yeah, no. Send us your question, comments, all your concerns, illadvisedthepodcast@gmail.com. And you can find us online at illadvisedthepodcast.com.
And Instagram and Facebook at illadvisedthepodcast.
And that's it. That's a wrap. Biff, anything else?
We hope you enjoyed.
You hope you enjoyed.
Hope you had happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Following the holidays. You're beautiful. You look great in those pants. Panty bulge is not a thing. Thank you for listening.
You've been ill-advised.